Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier, and I am here to help you deliver your value through online video. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out tonight. This is our weekly live stream every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Excited tonight. Going to talk about some YouTube topics, do a little Q&A, maybe some channel reviews. Also want to talk about the countdown to Vidsummit. As you may know, Vidsummit is just around the corner, and I will be heading out there Tuesday of next week. So I'm kind of trying to run through all the things that I need to plan for to get out there, get equipment out there, make sure everything is squared away before that time rolls around. So great to see you guys all here, coming and hanging out with us once again. Gonna hop in the chat and say hello to everybody in just a minute, but making sure, let's see how everything looks here. Audio good. Hope the video looks okay. I think we are doing pretty well. So in the live chat, we have V Worldwide, Mike Hawk, Devon Street. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out the street in this stream. We have T Clean TV, Shadow Speedy, Hollywood Rage, Marisol YT Videos, Candid Tech TV. Good to see all you guys. Geeky Heathen, Kara J Live. Hello to you. Old Car Auto Guy, Kevin Boston 7. Doug Houston is out there as well. Great to see you. Card Perfect Magician, live with Sandra V. Thank you so much, Kevin Boston, for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. We have Let's Play RC out there as well. Just making sure there wasn't a comment on that super chat. I don't see one. Thank you so much for that. Scott's Thoughts channel out there as well. Tim and Do a Girl. Great to have a lot of familiar faces here in the live stream. And I just realized it's like super hot in here for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. And I don't even know where my AC remote is, so I'm just going to have to wing it. So how's everybody doing? I hope YouTube is treating you well. Certainly been kind of an up and down year so far, but you just got to keep plugging, and hopefully you guys are seeing some rewards for your hard work here on YouTube. Jay Malone is in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jay Malone has a like a tech, and he covers drones and cameras and all kinds of cool stuff on his channel, and he is experiencing some awesome growth. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check out Jay Malone's channel. It's the same name, or you can click on the 3 dots next to his super chat and go check out his channel there as well. But highly recommend it. He's an example of what can happen when you put everything together, really get that channel growing. So great job by Jay Malone, and I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Chris Conkle Vlogs is out there as well. Hello to you. Good to see you. DC Scrappin', Rooster, Timeless Soldier. We have, I think I got you guys. Let's Play RC. All right. Kara J Live, I see that video, Dan. YouTube don't like me. Y'all saw that. Yeah, that was a video kind of focusing on a common theme. Plus, I also wanted to actually test out a little theory, because I think the bigger focus of that particular video was about how, you know, there's always conversation about what's clickbait and what's not clickbait, and what's sensationalized and what's not. But the reality is, when you're on YouTube long enough, you start to realize that there's so much content that you have to frame your content in a way that it stands out, but it also has to deliver on the promise that your thumbnail makes. So in that particular one, I wanted to make a thumbnail that was a little bit sensationalized, but also obviously went with the video to the point where when somebody watches the video, they don't feel cheated by the thumbnail. Now, if you put, you know, like a bunch of fast cars or something flashy on your thumbnail, and then your video was about, you know, just somebody sitting on a chair talking, obviously there's a disconnect between the, you know, what is clickbait, which is kind of like false advertising on your thumbnail, to what your actual message is. But what I was trying to do with that particular video, which I think is just titled YouTube Hates Me, and I picked that particular title based on keyword research to look at some keyword phrases that people were actually using in and around the idea that YouTube doesn't like them, and that's why their channel isn't growing. So that's what I covered in that video. If you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend you check it out. But the interesting thing about that, and what I wanted to illustrate with that video, is I've been putting out a bunch of, like, probably more helpful in terms of tutorial videos, and they don't get a lot of traction. Those are usually like slow burners that kind of grow over time. But right out of the gate, a lot of people tend to skip over those if it's not a particular thing they're working on at a given time. I did how to use OBS Studio mode, and some other, thumbnails and different topics that don't generally explode out of the gate. So I wanted to mix in some content that had the potential to do that. And as expected, as soon as I put out that video, it was gaining views at a velocity 2 or 3 times as much as what the other videos had been doing. I had one video that I put out that was educational in nature and kind of a tutorial kind of thing, and it struggled to get to 200 videos after a few days, which I haven't experienced in quite a while, but is what it is. So gonna jump in the chat again, see if there's any questions out there. I see your real estate whisperer saying hello to just about everybody in the chat. So good to see you, real estate whisperer. We have Instaburst out there as well. RD Franklin, good to see you. Always see RD Franklin really active in the comments section and here in the chat. So thank you. I appreciate you checking out the videos and supporting the channel. Let's see. Make sure. Didn't miss any actual questions. Scott's Thoughts channel. That was a great video. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And let's see. Hope YouTube shows me some gamer love this month. I think YouTube doesn't know me well enough to make a decision about how awesome I am. That's probably very true. Dignity's out there as well. Hello to you. YouTube loves channels that make content that viewers love, says Jay Malone. And that's right. And that's really what we need to focus on the most, is rather than trying to focus on what YouTube likes and doesn't like, try to focus on what your viewers like, and the ability to really hone in on what your community responds to. Like in this case, I knew that if I made that video the way that I made it, I was going to get a lot more traction, because those are the kinds of videos that people click on. But at the same time, I'm trying to provide educational value long-term. So for me, I sacrifice a little bit of growth with the idea that I don't want to I could probably put out a video every day, I mean, until people got completely sick of me, that would get a lot of reaction right out of the gate, because it's that clicky kind of sensationalized thumbnail and inspirational type videos that tend to kind of jump out of the gate a lot faster. So, but at the same time, I try to mix them in with some other like tutorial type stuff that's going to do good long term. It's going to be more evergreen. So I think a good mix of those as a content strategy helps in terms of keeping your view count up. I mean, honestly, I used to do 3 videos a week. Haven't been doing 3 videos a week recently. I get the live stream out every week, and my goal at this point is live stream plus 1 video per week. So I'm pretty much doing 2 videos a week minimum. And then if I can, I try to squeeze in a couple more. But definitely noticed some changes here in 2018. It either has exposed content that was getting more traffic than it should, or YouTube's still kind of tweaking things. But all that said, if you focus on just trying to understand what type of videos people respond to and make those, or at least make them occasionally to mix in with some of your other content, I think that is a good way to go to continue the growth. Instaburst, hey, do you remember how I asked you what I should do when my niche community hype is dying? Remind me what your niche is, and then I can answer that question. It depends really on the topic that you're covering. Creator Fundamentals, what is the best way to build community even when you're not posting? So in general, when you're not posting videos, I've done videos in the past where things that you can do to stay active and stay engaged when you're not actually posting videos. Between your videos, you can make a day that's like your social media day, where you can go in and maybe you grab one of your previous videos and you share it on Facebook and Twitter. Maybe you take a little clip or a photo related to your content and you post it on Instagram. There's a lot of things that you can do, or just jump into your previous videos and try to respond to comments. There's definitely things you can do on your off days to keep you active in your community and helping to grow and engage with people when you're not actually producing content. And that has to do with trying to get out there, like I said, spread your message more to the other social media platforms, and also engage with people who may be interacting with your previous videos. All right, let's see. Just going to scroll back here real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. Kevin says, buy yourself a cup of coffee with that money, Dan. Thank you so much, Kevin. I do appreciate the super chat. Hey, guys, and we're heading to Vidsummit, like I said, next Tuesday. And I'm not going to lie, getting out to these conferences are not cheap. Definitely worth it, but they're not always cheap. So I absolutely appreciate you supporting the channel, especially with the super chats, because all that money goes to being able to expand beyond what we're currently doing into other areas. So obviously the support that the channel has received up to this point has allowed Vidsummit to happen, plus some support from some great people like my sponsor and Daryl Eves and others, to get out to Vidsummit. But next year, the goal is to get to more conferences, more, make those additional connections with people, interact with other professionals in the field, and kind of absorb that information and be able to share that with you guys for free here on the YouTube channel. So I absolutely appreciate the help. It does go a long way. I don't take any, because I'm still growing the channel. It's not like I take money for personal use out of the channel. It all stays with the channel. It's all business related funds, and I spend it on either equipment, upgrade equipment, or travel arrangements to go to these conferences, anything that I think can help grow the channel. So super appreciate it. And it does go to a good cause in trying to be able to help everybody deliver their value through online video and kind of expand the reach of what we're trying to do here. So thank you again. All right, let's see. Candid Tech TV, I jumped from 1 to 2 videos per week again. It feels good to be able to do that. Batch shooting definitely helps. Yeah, and that's a great point about batch recording. I'm in a little bit, obviously it's different for everybody. If you're somebody who wants to do full-time and you're in a position to do full-time YouTube, batching is definitely the way to go, because instead of having to commit time every single day to make videos, you can take you can come in on Monday, wake up on Monday, pop out 3 or 4 videos, and then you can schedule the come out. Maybe you're doing 2 videos a week, so you pop out 4 videos on a Monday, or maybe you just do 2, and then you schedule a release on Tuesday and Thursday. Next Monday you do the same thing, so you have your content taken care of for the entire week in that first day of the week, and then you have the opportunity to use that other time throughout the week to develop other ways to monetize your channel, to build revenue for the channel, which in turn is going to help you to focus on expanding your ability to reach more people. Instant Rye Play, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Vidsummit or bust. Absolutely. I can't wait to get there. Gonna be a good time. They actually just, so for everybody that's in the chat right now, if you guys know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, just type Gary into the chat. I'm curious how many of you guys might actually follow Gary. He's one of the keynote speaker of the entire conference, and I'm curious how many of you guys follow Gary Vaynerchuk, or at least are familiar with who he is. And while we're doing that, really quick, I do see a question out there that says, Dan, I'd like to know more about TubeBuddy. So this is a good opportunity to do this right here and let you guys know that TubeBuddy is the #1 browser plugin for managing and growing your YouTube channel. It's available to download for free, and there's a link in the description below. And what TubeBuddy actually is it's a suite of tools that allow you to streamline the work that you're doing when you upload videos. It's a bunch of stuff that appears inline, keyword research, custom thumbnail functionality, all kinds of things that make it easier for you to do your videos consistently each time you upload. So you use the keyword research to make sure you're targeting keyword phrases that people are actually searching for. You get a checklist of reminders to make sure you're doing the 10 or 12 best practices with each upload that actually appear within YouTube when you install that plugin in your browser. And then there's some other stuff that's available on the website itself, where you can actually go to tubebuddy.com and look at some tools over there. There's a free tier, like I said, that I highly recommend you check out the free tier. There's no purchase required or anything like that. And then there's some paid tiers that give you some additional features. So I would definitely recommend at least trying the free version, get a feel for how it all works, check out the plugin and stuff. And then as you use it, typically what happens is people use it and they start to grow, they start to see the value of some of the additional features, and then they'll upgrade. And the cool thing about TubeBuddy is they're very supportive of the creator community. So they have these great built-in promos, like if you have a small channel, if you're under so many subscribers, etc., they give you big discounts to buy some of the paid tiers. So they're great. Phil, who is the CEO over there of TubeBuddy, is a great guy, super helpful, also the sponsor of this channel. So I love those guys, and I was had a good relationship with them way before they became the sponsor of the channel. So I'm not just talking them up because they're the sponsor. I used it on my other channel, The Average Dan, before I even created Creator Fundamentals, and I loved it. So Doug Houston, thank you so much for the super chat for Vidsummit, says Doug. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't know if he's in. Is Tom DeSico is not in the chat, is he? We'll see. I didn't see him pop in yet, but interesting story. So a guy by the name of Tom DeSico reached out to me a while back, and basically he lived in the general area that I lived in, wanted to get together and meet or whatever. So we got together, and Matt, you can check out his channel. It's just called Tom DeSico, but he like I said, was a local YouTuber, which I live in the Albany, New York area. So it's not like Utah where they seem to grow on trees. So I found it interesting and cool that there was a local YouTuber. So I checked out his content. He knew what he was doing, did good quality videos. So I ended up at that first meeting asking him if he wanted to come to Vidsummit to record for me, and I would help him get there. So, you know, long story longer, yeah, there ended up being a contest that Daryl ran for to get a free ticket to Vidsummit. So he made a video to try to get the free ticket, and he posted it on, I think, Twitter, and Daryl saw it, and Sean Doris saw it, and everybody saw it. He ended up getting a free ticket to Vidsummit. I actually extended my room at the Westin to him, so he's going to stay. We're going to stay in the same room. We're going to try to pump out a bunch of content, and I'm going to have another camera with me to film some cool content, get some behind-the-scenes stuff. So that should be really cool. I talked to him the other day, and he was joking about he was going to be, for those of you who know Gary Vaynerchuk, he was going to be my D-Rock for the week and follow me around and record some content. So I think that's going to be super cool. Plus, we're going to do some content together, and we have a project that will probably be kicking off when we get back from Vidsummit, a joint venture between the two of us that I think will be really cool. So that is going to be absolutely awesome, and it's cool to have somebody that because he lives here, we're traveling there together, so it'll be a cool experience. Let's see here. So anyway, the thing that was really cool about Vidsummit that just happened recently, and another thing that cost money but definitely worth it, is they just announced, in addition to the conference, they were doing a private lunch with Gary Vee. So for people who were able to buy a ticket to the private lunch, you would be able to, to get into a smaller group, and join Gary Vee for, you know, kind of a smaller lunch meeting kind of thing, if you will. So when they announced it, I couldn't get my credit card out of my wallet fast enough because I think it's going to be super value. I think there's going to be a lot of high value people in that particular meeting. So I jumped at the opportunity to do that. So Tom and myself will both be going to that particular luncheon with Gary Vee. A lot more value. So many amazing people I'm sure are going to be in that meeting. So looking forward to that and being able to share that experience with. I got to get a feel for how it actually unfolds, because if there's an opportunity to record during the luncheon, I'll definitely try to get some footage from it and see who's at the table and who's in there and try to share that with you guys. I'm trying to come up with like a very inconspicuous mini tripod for my phone. Maybe I'll just set the phone, set the phone up and record. Obviously, I won't be sneaky about it, but if it seems like a cool thing to do, I'll definitely try to get some footage for you guys. But I think that's going to be a pretty amazing get together. So. Your Real Estate Whisperer, Gary's the reason I started making videos on YouTube. Awesome. And that's the other thing. You also get, last year I got a picture with Gary Vaynerchuk at Vidsummit, and it was a bit of a zoo. So it was like a chaos because he was up on stage and a lot of people kind of went fanboy and crowded around him. So it was kind of a challenge to get in, and take a picture, but he was cool about it. The first picture that we tried to take didn't work, and he took the time to take a second one, so that was cool of Gary. And but this year, with that luncheon, it's going to be a lot less chaotic, so that part's going to be cool. Let's see. I've been seeing this recently, and I'm curious about the change in TubeBuddy, because I've seen a few people posting that they've gotten 100 out of 100 score for TubeBuddy on a phrase. I don't think that I do my keyword research a little bit differently than I used to. I kind of use, I use two different tools to do my keyword research. I use both Morning Fame and TubeBuddy. So I do it a little bit differently, but I don't think that I've ever actually come up with 100 out of 100 keyword phrase. But I have seen 2 or 3 people post, like, it seems like within the last week that they got that score in TubeBuddy. So I was curious to see exactly, how that pans out. So to answer your question, no, I've never gotten one. And I'm curious to see how those videos perform. But hey, you can't get better than 100 out of 100. So provided you built the rest of your keyword phrase and you're using that keyword phrase as your actual title, repeating it in the description, and then, of course, in your keyword phrases, I would think that would do fairly decently. The free trial for Kevin says, why is there no free trial of the Legend license? Yeah, the free trial is just a more basic version. There's a lot of more advanced tools on the Legend version that actually require a lot more support by the TubeBuddy team, which is why the Legend license is not something that they sell as a one-time fee or a free trial. So the free trial is going to get you access to some features to kind of get a feel for how everything works, and then the different tiers are going to give you access to some features. So like the Legend license, which I believe is the top tier license there, actually gives you the A/B testing, which allows you to put in 2 different thumbnails, and TubeBuddy will actually rotate them back and forth for like 2 weeks every other day. They'll switch the thumbnail back and forth, and then they'll give you statistics on this too to see which one you're actually getting better click-through on, which is obviously super valuable in helping you to get as much traffic as you can through your thumbnail. All right. Okay, let's see. Artie Franklin, can one random video that goes viral help your channel? Thanks. So there's two parts to that. Is a lot of channels change on one video. I would hope that the video that does that for you is not a quote-unquote random video. I think it's super important that when something like that happens, that you're really focused on a niche and that your video that gets really popular is relevant to your audience. Because as you know, something that caused my channel to explode, I think I've got like 7,000 subscribers off of one video, which is the how to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours video. That performed well, and it drew in an audience that was relevant to to the content that I make. If you happen to do, say you are a auto repair channel and for some reason you decide one day to do a video about, I don't know, football, and that football video goes crazy and you start to get a ton of views and a ton of subscribers off that football video. Well, now you just brought in a big, huge audience that doesn't care about the rest of your content. So your choices are either continue making the content that you wanted to make and have a whole bunch of your audience not care about it, or change your entire concept and make your entire channel about that particular video that took off. So it can put you in kind of an awkward situation when you have a fringe video take off that's not super focused on the niche and the content that you're making. So I think it's important that you do focus on a topic and you try to make all your videos fall within that topic. Now, if you have the opportunity to do a trendy video on something that's niche specific, then that's, obviously that's your bullseye. That's what you want to do. Those are the kind of things that can take off when there's a lot of activity or attention on that given subject. But just like if something's trending, again, you're doing the auto thing and you see the Shane Dawson, Jake Paul videos, you're like, I'm going to make a video reacting to those videos, and maybe you get a ton of views on it. Well, now you got a bunch of people that are either Shane fans or Jake fans and aren't really interested in cars, and they're all coming to your channel. So that puts you in an awkward spot where, if you make more content like that, you'll get more views from those people, but it has nothing to do with what you're doing on your channel. Let's see. What else we got out there? Kara J Live. I don't know if anybody answered that yet. Yeah, I think Destiny took care of that. What it actually means. Scott's Thought Channel. Glad I made it on when this started. Awesome. Great to have you here. Let's see. There's no local YouTubers near me either, says Kevin. Let's see. Instaburst. My niche is a toy known as Beyblade. They are spinning tops. Now I remember that. They actually play that at my kids' daycare. I see them in there with those. They kind of spin them in like a little arena and they bounce off of each other, right? Kind of like a little, I don't know if they would be battles or something like that, or what a winner looks like, but I do know what you're talking about now. So in that case, if you think that the interest in that is fading, I would try to, for one, I would figure out what's replacing it. Where's that attention going? What are the kids, I mean, there were fidget spinners for a while, then there were those. What is that next thing? And start to mix in some content about that and kind of follow, broaden your content to the point where it can include something else related, whether it's some other type of desktop game, whatever that thing is that wherever that audience is going, So if they're not paying attention to Beyblade anymore, what are they looking at? Try to do some research, find out what's hot. Maybe as the holidays roll around, try to look at what the the hot toys are. See if there's anything in that mix that's actually related to the Beyblade and that kind of concept. And then start making content on that and integrate it into your channel and kind of steer your audience in that direction. Oh, thank you so much, Devon Street, for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right, where is... All right, Scott's Thoughts channel, any ideas for some fun idea for a nature channel niche, or anyone else in the chat? I think nature channel might be a little bit wide. I think you should kind of consider like what's specific to nature you are actually doing videos about. Like, are you doing camping, the great outdoors? How are you actually defining nature? And I think it kind of depends, because some people maybe you have a channel focused on camping, and some, if you're focused on camping, then you can do, okay, well, there's camping supplies. Maybe I can do videos that focus on particular products, which may be hot right now, or, up and coming, whether that's, honestly, don't know what's hot in that regard. But I know a while back, when Bear Grylls did the Gerber knives and things like that, look for stuff like that may be hot or trendy, and do videos like that. But I would kind of need to know where your channel goes with regards to nature, and you want to make sure that you don't get too wide on nature, because there's a lot of different stuff you can cover there. Is it about animals in nature? Is it about people spending time in nature? Is it about maybe vacations you can take in nature, camping, hiking, national parks, all kinds of different ways that you could narrow in that particular niche. All right. Justin Bennett asks, what is everyone's biggest challenge within YouTube? Let's see. Scrolling. All right. It's got a lifetime pro license. That's good. Yeah, the A/B testing is really nice in TubeBuddy. Definitely helpful. It's cool to see, because everybody has an idea of what they think is a better thumbnail, and it doesn't always pan out that way. It's surprising when you see the results sometimes. Which reminds me, I think I have one that I've been testing that's just about done. I need to check up on. In fact, let me take a quick peek. If it is done, I can show you what it looks like. Give me 2 seconds and we will take a peek. All right, so we go A/B testing complete. All right, guys. If you're interested, if you guys want to take a look at what the A/B testing results look like in TubeBuddy, just type A/B into the chat. If we get enough people that are interested, then I will take you over there and show you. But I don't want to pop that up if that's not something you guys are interested in. So just type A/B if you want to see it, and then we'll go take a look. Let's see here. Destiny says, Dan, I'm sorry to bother you. This is irrelevant, but do you know a way to share huge video files to another person? Anything I do says my video is too big, but someone is helping me and needs it. Google Drive should be able to help you do that. Google Drive, I think, gives you a decent amount of space for free. So if you have a Gmail account, then you have Google Drive. You can actually log into Gmail and create a folder, drop the folder into, or drop the file into that folder, and then share the folder with the person, and then they can log in and download it from there. That's going to be the best bet there for big files. Kevin says, I have a video that has almost 900 views now, but it's my most viewed video, yet it's not my most liked video. How can a video with less views have more likes? Whatever the content was that you were making in that video was compelling enough for them to want to like it. So a lot of bigger videos that tend to get a lot bigger draw, a lot of times will have less engagement because they're pulling in from a wider audience. So that's really not that uncommon to have some more engagement on a smaller subset, especially when a video outperforms the norm for your channel, because that usually means that it's expanded beyond your audience and some other people are watching it, and they aren't always conditioned to actually share likes and dislikes and leave comments and things. Kara J Live, oh Dan, I tried GIMP and I love it. You mentioned it on your last live. I tried it with my latest video to create a thumbnail and I'm in love. Awesome. Great to hear. It's my, I really enjoy using it, and it's what I've been using now for a while. So to me, it is the way to go, and it's free. You can't beat free. Let's see here. All right, so we got some ABs in there. Let me bring up, let's see here, AB test. And we will do, sure. All right, so this is going to be, make sure everything looks good there. Let's see if I do that, and then that, and where can I put you down here? Okay, and all right. Sure, good. Okay, so this is an actual A/B testing result. This is for the most popular video on my channel. In this case, all I was testing is two different thumbnails. So this is my original thumbnail, and this was a variation I was trying to see how the two fared and which one would draw in more traffic. So let's see here. Can I do... real quick. Bear with me a moment. I just want to update the quick click-through rate values to make sure that they success. Go back here. All right, and then make sure this is okay. Good. Just wanted to make sure that those were current. So in this case, I had two thumbnails. Click-through rates on both of them. One's at 4%, one's at 4.01%. Based on that click-through rate and the traffic, the original got 2,646 views, and this was over the course, I think, of, how long did we do this? Oh, we did this for 8 days. So it would have been 4 days with each thumbnail. So on the 4 days with the first thumbnail, we got 2646. With the second, we got 2926. Average view duration on both of them was about the same. And then here you can actually see how they fared each day. And then we also see things. So shares, this one existed in 149, or was in 149 shares versus 176. A lot more comments on the original versus the variants. Gained 96 subs on both of them. Likes are almost identical. Dislikes are almost identical. So this is like almost... They're very, very close to each other. And what it does, so the test not only gives you the raw data, but it also gives you an analysis. It says the variation version of your video outperformed your original by 10%. We recommend updating your video to the variation version. So basically, out of these two, it says that the variation, which is the new one, actually performed better. And the cool thing about it is when you do this test and you're all done with it, if you want to swap out your original thumbnail with the variation, you literally just click update to variation and it goes out to YouTube and sets your thumbnail to that new version. So now I've made this version the actual version that people will be seeing on YouTube. So that's how it is. It gives you obviously like a bunch of I want to see if I have any other ones here. Here, let's do a different one here. In this case, it was 2 more versions. No idea what's up with these absolutely horrid click-through rates. But this poor guy, I think that like the situation with this one is, I think what actually happened on this video, if you look at the view duration, you'll see that the original is getting 445 and the variation is getting 219. I think what actually happened based on looking at the traffic down here was that people who had already watched the video saw the thumbnail that they hadn't seen before, who were actually my subscribers, and went out and watched the video thinking it was new, got halfway through it, and then they were like, oh, we already watched this video. So, which brings up an interesting point, because one of the things that I've noticed, and I was thinking about doing a video on it, was whether or not it was going to be something to the effect, is the algorithm harming your average view duration? Because one of the things that I noticed just browsing as a user on YouTube is that it was recommending videos to me that I'd already watched. But sometimes it would recommend them to me, instead of showing me the newest content for somebody, it would recommend a video from like 4 months ago, and I didn't recognize the thumbnail and I thought it was new. So then I would click on it to watch it thinking it was a new video, only to realize, you know, maybe a minute in that I'd already watched it. And so I would abandon it. Now, if that's your channel, then obviously that's actually affecting your average view duration, because it's being suggested to people who like the content of the user, don't necessarily realize that it's old content, and is sending people who have already watched the content back another round, and you know, potentially causing them to bail early. All right, so all right, hop in the chat real. Have a good night, Jay Malone. Thanks for coming and hanging out, and I appreciate the super chat. All right, let's see. Congrats to Oreo Time on your new subscriber. Destiny says if she accidentally clicks on a video, she'll watch it through to the end just to make sure she doesn't hurt view duration. Yeah, that A/B testing is part of TubeBuddy, and it's accessible through the Legend level subscription. All right. All right. Very interesting. Got Snowman66 out there. Welcome to the live stream. And yeah, guys, if you are in the chat, definitely hit that thumbs up or thumbs down if you hate it and you just like abusing yourself and you're staying in the live stream anyway. But if you do enjoy coming and hanging out, definitely hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Kevin Boston saying that his own videos are being recommended to him. I have seen that as well. Gamium Gamers just subscribed to the channel. You know what? I wanted to check. I've been meaning to incorporate the new soundboard that's Stream Deck. I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys, but I use a Stream Deck on live streams. If you're new, I've done things on it before, but this is the Stream Deck. It allows you to do functionality. You can assign different things to buttons. So during a live stream, you can just push a single button and to have it do something. And they just recently added a soundboard. You know, so if I wanted to, I could be like, you know, so I'm going to head to the airport. And then from the airport, we go to the hotel, which of course is in Los Angeles, which is the city. You know, it's funny because way before YouTube was a thing, my brother and I used to do shows with a tape recorder. We would do like sound effects and stuff and actually make, you know, kind of like a radio theater kind of thing that we would, you know, tell a story and, you know, tap shoes for walking and do all these other things and record a story. It would be really cool if we still had those, but I'm not sure that they exist anymore. But when I was setting up some of the sounds on the Stream Deck, that's what it made me think of. But you can do all kinds of cool things with that. No, thanks. No, thanks. That's enough. I'm like a little kid. What are you going to do? Alrighty. Where do you get the Stream Deck? You can get the Stream Deck on Amazon. They sell it there. And then it's USB. It plugs in. And then it's real easy to assign stuff to all the buttons. And then the buttons are really cool because you can actually assign images to each image. It's like a little LCD screen or whatever they made it out of, so you can put little custom images behind each button to show you what it is. So that's really cool. So if anybody wants to check it out, that is the link to the Stream Deck. But yeah, it's fun. I could probably just sit here and just play with all the sound effects. It wasn't that exciting, guys. Relax. All right. All right. So there is an application, but the Stream Deck itself is an actual piece of hardware that you plug in. It comes with the software that programs, that allows you to program all that stuff. It has actions that you can set up to post. So if I wanted to say, you know, hey guys, make sure that you join my Facebook group, I have all that saved, so I can just push a button and you'll get a message in the chat that says go join the Facebook group. You can set up things like that. You can set up automatic tweets. So if I wanted to say, hey, we're live now, I can push a button and send a tweet out that lets everybody know that the live stream is active. All kinds of cool stuff that it can do. but it's good when you're, especially when you're a one-man show and you want to say, hey, go out to social media, whatever, be sure to join the Discord, head over to the Discord after the live stream, follow the link that's in the chat. You can do it all without having to go, okay, type in the URL and all that stuff. So it can really make the process of being a one-man show a lot easier. Because quite honestly, I've seen live streams that weren't a one-person show that still ran into a bunch of problems. So being able to run a live stream by yourself and getting used to being able to do things, make sure you know what's on screen, make sure you're not streaming a screen you don't want to stream. All that stuff kind of takes practice. And the more that you can do to kind of streamline the process and make certain tasks simplified, the better you are able to, kind of present everything. So. Let's see. All right. Yes, I will be doing channel reviews. I'll do a few channel reviews towards the end of the live stream. We're going to do a 90-minute live stream. That means that the live stream will go till about 10:30. So probably somewhere in that last half hour is when I will start looking at channels. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys are new to the live stream, this is the first time you're coming and hanging out with us. For one, welcome. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Number two, you'll find that we do these live streams every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely come back for future live streams. We handle Q&A if you have something specific that you want to ask about YouTube or best practices or what you can do to grow, something specific about your channel. This is the place to do it. And we're here every Wednesday night. It's a 90-minute live stream from 9 p.m. Eastern to 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and we try to cram in as much conversation about YouTube as possible. Plus, it's an opportunity to get together with other YouTubers, like-minded people who are all trying to grow their channels like you are. And, if you've had experiences like I have, once you kind of leave the YouTube world, it's not always easy to find people who you can talk to about YouTube. You're either in YouTube or you don't really understand it, and you think it's just the place where the Paul brothers go and make trouble for the online community. I was trying to get that out without saying anything inappropriate for live stream sake, but yeah, so that's what we do here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Now it'll be interesting. Next Wednesday night I will be at Vidsummit in Los Angeles, so which will be 9 o'clock. Will be 6 o'clock out there. So there's a good chance that next Wednesday we won't be having the live stream at this time. If I can, I'll try to do a live stream from Los Angeles, but it's much more likely to be in the evening in Los Angeles, which means it's going to be even later than it is now. So it'll probably be 3-4 hours later than this if I'm able to do one. It all depends on what's going on. If there's opportunities to network and spend some time with other creators there at Vidsummit, definitely going to use that time that way, because it's just so valuable to be able to interact with a lot of other people who are doing the things that I want to be able to do with this channel and grow and learn different ways to grow the business in an effective way. So I will try to update you at some point to let you know whether I think there'll be a live stream. What I would suggest is to check in and take a look. I'll try, if I can do one, I will schedule it ahead of time so you'll be able to see the alert on the Creator Fundamentals channel. All right. I added you to the list, Brett's Garage, for your channel review. So when we do approach the time to do those, I will definitely take a look at your channel. Shannon Vlogs is in the live stream. Did I? You know, I just got your sweatshirt, your hoodie, and it just came in the mail yesterday from Merch by Amazon. So I will be getting that out to Los Angeles, so you can get it at Vidsummit. All right. Jesse3455 says, hello, can I get a shout out? Consider that your shout out. Thank you so much for being sub for a long time and coming to hang out with us on the live stream. That is Jesse3455. Hello, Rosalie Muir. So I ran out of memory, but I'm back. That's good. All right. Kevin Boston's asking about the split on Amazon or Merch by Amazon between what Amazon takes and how much money I would actually get. So I found that Merch by Amazon overall has a lot lower cut than some other places, or their base price is a lot lower. Let me give you an actual, let's see here, what that actually looks like. Just gonna log in real quick and remind myself at what their base price is on like a typical t-shirt. Oh, looks like they've made some enhancements to this page. Let's see. So, see if I can drill in here. We need to go into manage and we'll look. Oh, that's not a t-shirt, Dan. All right, so let's look at just a basic, what their basic t-shirt is, value right there, and I will tell you. So it looks like the base price that they offer, and I don't know if they offer different prices to different people, like based on volume or anything. I don't do a ton of merch stuff, but it looks like the base price on a t-shirt, which would be Amazon's cut, is $13.39, which means anything that you want to price above and beyond that would be your cut. So, like for example, the t-shirts that I sell, the basic t-shirts that I have that are just the Creator Fundamentals logo, I price those just in case anybody wanted them, and obviously it's, you know, branding for the channel. So those, I price those at $14.99. So my cut on them would be $1.60 because I'm not trying to make money on them. I'm just trying to make them available. You know what I mean? Whereas some other products, if you're setting this up to make, you know, maybe you're making designs specifically to sell t-shirts, maybe you're selling t-shirts for 20 bucks a pop, you know, so in that case, you're making $6, $7, depending on how you price them. So that is basically how Amazon merch works. And I found that that base price of $13 and change is a lot lower than some of the other the other companies that do it out there. Jesse3455, how do you get subscribers on YouTube? For almost a year, and I only have 70. So a couple different things that you can do. For one, try to record your videos in horizontal mode instead of vertical mode. And what I mean by that is when you're recording, presumably on your phone, you don't want to hold it like a phone. So make your videos like this instead of like this. And that will certainly help you get a form factor that more people are going to be interested in. If you are recording with your phone, then you want to make sure that you have really good lighting, which means either natural lighting, which means you can, on a nice day, you can stand in front of the open window and basically hold your camera out to the open window so the light is behind the camera and facing towards your face. And then you can, that's going to help the video quality look a lot better regardless of the camera that you're using, because what happens is that the poorer quality cameras don't handle low light situations that well. So having the more light is going to make the quality of the video look better. Kevin Boston says, how do I get an awesome beard? It's Mother Nature, man. Mother Nature decides whether these grow or not, so. It was kind of a trade-off. It stopped growing on my head and started growing on my chin, so what are you going to do? All right. You're a real estate whisperer. Never in a million years did I think that would be a comment in the chat. Oh, we got dogs and geckos and but I bet you that gecko has got quite the story to tell. All right, let's see. Who else we have? Let's Arthur Moorhead, are you using OBS at the moment? This is OBS Studio. Yes, I am. Journeys, I have 15 dogs. You have 15 dogs? Yeah, you never know what's going to happen in live stream chat. NA Games is asking for a shout out. Consider yourself shouted out. Shannon Vlogs. Just got out of dinner, heading home. Excited for it. Man, I can't wait for Vidsummit. It's going to be such a good time. I personally have 3 dogs and a cat. And sometimes that feels like more than enough. Destiny says she wants to bang her head on the car hood with one puppy. Dog rescue. Okay, that makes more sense. We actually got both of our dogs from the same rescue. Someone we know who rescues dogs that they come up from down south, and we're in New York, so they come up from down south, and we have a boxer mix and a chocolate lab mix, and they're both rescues. DC Scrap and Rooster, have a good night. Thanks for coming and hanging out. All right, let's see. Scott's Thoughts channel, I struggle so much with OBS. It's frustrating. What particular problems are you having with OBS? If you do search on the channel, I have done a few videos in OBS, so maybe those might give you some assistance if you're having trouble. Alex in the chat, good to see you. Alex, I paid for that $200 for that dinner as fast as I possibly could. So if you're asking my opinion about whether you should do the dinner, I would. I mean, it's just, you're already going to be in Los Angeles at Vidsummit. That's going to be a subset of some very, probably some very successful people. That would be a good opportunity to be able to sit at a table with them and have conversations around food and with Gary there. And yeah, I would definitely buy the dinner or lunch or whatever they're calling it in a heartbeat. I must have accidentally pushed the button because I wasn't trying to post that small YouTuber t-shirt. It's funny, too, because that's not the first time I've accidentally hit a button on Stream Deck, and it always seems to be for the t-shirt. I think the Stream Deck wants to sell those t-shirts. Doug says there are some great tutorials and courses on OBS on YouTube for free. Absolutely. All right. Let's see if I can. All right. Jesse345, you use mobile or PS4. You know, there's a lot of people out there that do YouTube streaming just from console gaming. I have never done that. Of course, we don't have the PS4. We have the Xbox One and a Wii. All right. Single Mom is in the live stream. Welcome. We have Sim. Is it Sim or Sime Cooking out there as well. Launchpad Astronomy. Brew Review. Anybody else that came in late that I didn't cover? Let's see. Geeky Heathen has 2 cats, 2 rabbits, a snake, and lots of tropical fish. All right. Artie Franklin, Dan, usually we have to go back and revisit our first videos to modify and make corrections. Is that a good idea? I guess that would depend on what type of corrections that you feel that you would need to make. I don't typically, it really depends. If there's a really old video that's like completely dead in the water, and it was something that I just missed the mark on in keyword research or anything like that, maybe I might consider that. But for the most part, I try to just move forward. The one thing that I will do is try to update thumbnails to try to get something that might perform a little bit better if it's not getting a lot of traffic. Launchpad Astronomy says, did my first live stream using OBS and a MacBook Air. Congrats on your first live stream. That's awesome. Devin Street sent the live stream to some of my loyal subscribers. Hopefully they come in. Awesome. I appreciate it. And let's see. Brew Review. I just have a quick question for anyone that knows the answer. How many subs does it require to change the URL of your channel? Been struggling with sending potential watchers to the channel having a 1,000 character URL. If you mean that you haven't, the question, the answer to that depends on whether or not you've already set a custom URL. If you haven't set your own custom URL, it's 100 subscribers. Once you reach 100 subscribers, then you can get your custom URL. In that case, you just go into Studio and you can actually set up a custom URL. If you've already chosen a custom URL and you want to change it, the process is different. It doesn't require any additional subscribers, but it's kind of a around the horn kind of way to do it that usually requires reaching out to YouTube support. All right. Destiny says I need to do the URL thing. Thanks for reminding me. All right. Filefish, my brother lives in LA. Cool. All right. Sorry to repeat the question, but how much for the Stream Deck? The Stream Deck currently costs... I did put a link to the Stream Deck in the chat, but let me see. It is $149.95. They have, however... So this is, obviously, you can see, let's see here. So this is the actual Stream Deck on Amazon. You can see that it is, it's $149.95 with the 15 keys like this has. But they've recently, and I think this is relatively new, is they've come out with a 6-key version, which is kind of a smaller version over here with 6 programmable keys, and that one is $93.99. So depending on you know how you're planning on using it, you might be able to get away with the 6-key option. Now the good thing about the here, I'll see if I can show you here. So the good thing about the Stream Deck, like this one has 15, but as you can see down here, these little folders, it actually allows you to build layers. So even though this is only taking up 1 key, if you press it, it's actually a folder that's filled with a bunch of sound effects. So you, in theory, if you had those 6 buttons, you could make each of the 6 buttons a folder, and then within each folder you could have 6 buttons. So that seems like a pretty good way to do that. See, told you. All right. Okay. And okay, trying not to miss any questions here, scrolling through. All right, so here's the deal. I have one channel that I'm going to take a look at for a channel review. I will do, if anybody is interested in a channel review, since we're getting kind of late, I'll do two other channel reviews, and then if anybody wants to request a channel review with Super Chat, those will take priority, and I'll include them in addition to the 3. But if you want to get in one of those 3 spots, definitely post your channel and tag me right now, and I'll grab a couple more channels that we can do to take a look at. So just so you know, if you don't get your channel selected, it's still valuable to pay attention to the channel reviews, because it's very similar stuff that people tend to need to work on their channels. I know a lot of people request channel reviews, not so much because they want to make their channel better, but just because they want to see their channel on somebody's live stream. But that's not going to help your channel grow. So even if you get, you know, somebody with a ton of subscribers to pull your channel up on their live stream, it's not going to convert to growing your channel if you don't have good content and you're not doing it right. So it's much more valuable to try to make changes based on what we see as an issue, and go from there, rather than hoping that simply having your channel mentioned is going to do something for you. Your Real Estate Whisperer, thank you so much for the super chat. Can you look at my new thumbs and channel art? Absolutely. I will put you in the list here.
All right.
Alrighty. Okay. And where did I see? So, yeah, that Stream Deck is cool. I do like that. Yeah, if you guys, there's still spots available. So if you just tag, if you know how to tag, you hit the little @ symbol and you start typing Creator Fundamentals, and that's how it'll work. If you want to get, because I see some people talking about wanting channel reviews, but I haven't seen anybody tag. So just tag me and write your channel name as your comment, and I'll grab a couple of those and do channel reviews. Unless nobody wants a channel review, we don't have to do channel reviews, and I'm okay with that. All right, there we go. Stop that. Cool. All right. There we go. Cool. All right. All right, so I have a few channels that I'm going to take a look at. If anybody else wants to get into the review mix, I'll hang around a little bit past 10:30 if we run time for anybody who is looking for a channel review via Super Chat. Just a good way to kind of balance out ending at 10:30. But if somebody really wants one and they want to do a Super Chat, I will certainly do that as well. Okay, so let me get this squared away here, and then we will take a look. All right, so the first channel we're going to take a look at is Real Estate Whisperer. First off, I love the new channel art. It's very eye-catching. It's done really well. It's set up so that you're going to appear nice in mobile. I like you have the house in your hands. Very cool. Everything is easy to read. Real estate tips with humor. Real estate value in live streams, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and yourrealestatewhisperer.com. So you're identifying exactly what your content is about. We come down here and we look at your new thumbnails, and you can see that the consistency here. One, she is in her branding. She's in her channel art. So you can see her face there and in the icon. And then we go down into her thumbnails, and she's present there as well. And she is carrying the colors used in the channel art into the actual thumbnails. So this is what we talk about when you're trying to develop your brand. It's all about repetitive use of elements that make people associate those elements with your channel and with your brand. And here is a good example that she's done here. It's nice and colorful, and it stands out, and it's memorable. Plus, the same color scheme is carried into the thumbnails. So people will recognize that these thumbnails go with this channel. So yeah, I definitely like the channel art. And as you can see, one of the things that we've talked about before is how basically almost where this color transition happens is that this is where mobile, when you pull up a channel on a mobile device, is going to cut off the channel art. So if you have some big name that's stretching from the left, from one end of this channel space to the other, it's going to get cut off on mobile. And you're probably getting at least 50% of your traffic from mobile. That's how a lot of people just hop on their phones to look at stuff. So if you want to go through all the trouble of making nice channel art, you want to make sure that 50% of the crowd that sees it is not seeing something that's cut off and doesn't make sense because they can't read it. So just want to double check. We'll hop over here. I think it was just the channel art and the thumbnails that you wanted me to take a look at. But yes, absolutely very cool. If I had any type of feedback on the thumbnails themselves, like one example, this one right here with the real estate trivia, it's a little small, but it's not, I mean, obviously I can read it, but I would probably prefer to go maybe a little less wordy and a little bit bigger font there. So maybe just something to think about, but it seems to be how you are doing. Are those live streams with that format? I'm guessing those are live streams, but in any event, yeah, looks good. There's consistency there with the colors. If those are in fact live streams, you see that there's the same format here and down here, so it almost seems like there's slight variations. Let's look at your playlist and see if that's how if you're kind of organizing these based on the different types of videos that you're doing. Let's take a look home here real quick. But yeah, these thumbnails definitely stand out. They all look nice and clean and consistent with each other, and definitely identify somebody who is implementing good practices in what they're doing. Yeah, I'm not necessarily picking up the variations on how you're doing, or you're varying your thumbnails. You can let me know in the chat if you're doing those by certain type, or they represent thumbnails that were made at different times or whatever. But very eye-catching and memorable, and I think that they will, those should serve you well. Your real estate whisperer says Rainbow Vomit is my color scheme. Well, it's good to be consistent. Maybe that is what an upchucked gecko looks like. I don't know. Alrighty, so let's see who we have next here. All right, so the next channel we are going to pull up is Brett's Garage. So a couple different things here. I like the concept of your channel art, but again, what we were talking about is that this channel art is going to get cut off probably somewhere around here and here. So you'll still see all the words, which is good. You won't be able to tell that this is actually a wrench. So depending on how meaningful that is for you, and to identify that you're doing, you know, a garage-based channel, you may want to redesign how this is displayed. The other thing is that it's kind of blurry. So I don't know if you made this in like another program and then you had to, it had to be blown up to be displayed here. But it kind of has that feel like it's, the resolution on it's not quite as high as it needs to be there, and the image is being stretched and pixelated for the purpose of filling the space. So that's something to consider. Also, looking at your videos and your thumbnails, if you're trying to develop a brand, like I see your logo there, you have Brett's Garage with the fan here in the middle. You know, if that is part of your branding, then I would, one, try to incorporate that into your channel art, perhaps. You know, maybe if you did the wrench, maybe if the wrench was around the logo, something like that, and get all of those elements to fit within here. Also, when we look at your thumbnails, there's nothing on your thumbnails that are going to identify them as being part of your channel. And I think that really helps to develop that brand identity and to have people be able to identify your videos as yours. So you try to bring in some kind of branding element here. Maybe you get this, you start putting this circle in the lower left-hand corner, you know, your little logo, your branding element. So people can look at a thumbnail and know it's from your channel. The other thing is consistency in, you know, font choices and colors and everything. Here it looks like some of these are using a similar font, but you know, then there's some variation like here and here and here. Definitely a bunch of different colors. So, you know, getting people to become familiar with it is the repetitive use of those same elements over and over again. You also want to make sure you get stuff into playlists. You have a few playlists here. If we go to your home screen and take a look, I'm going to stop that video. You really need to customize your page here, which it looks like you have at least set it up to customize because you have this intro video. Then you need to go into customize, and down here click on add a section and start listing horizontal playlists on your channel page to get as much of your content exposed so people can see it, know what your channel is about, and when they come to visit your page, get as much input from your content so they can make a decision about whether or not they want to subscribe to you. All right. All right, so the next channel we're going to take a look at here is called Scott's Thoughts and Stuff. So I like the colors of the background image, but there are definitely some areas here that we want to tweak. First off, I would get rid of the social media links in your channel art for a couple different reasons. One, if you're trying to focus on growing your channel here on YouTube, you don't want to encourage people to leave in the channel art by trying to send them to other social media. So I would get rid of those in your channel art. I would get rid of these links that send people elsewhere up here. I would actually replace this with an actual subscribe link to YouTube to try to keep everybody focused on the channel and get people to subscribe to the channel. The other thing that stands out here is that this red font on a dark background. Red doesn't really play well on darker backgrounds, and anytime you're dealing with a font, any kind of font over a photograph, it's always a good idea to give it either a drop shadow or a contrasting outline so that when it crosses into different colors and things, it doesn't get lost. So in this case, it's fairly dark. I'd probably go with a lighter font choice, maybe something blockier than the serif font that has the little feet and it's got a bunch of thin things here. It kind of almost looks Times New Roman-ish. So I wouldn't go with that type of font, but if you chose to do that, you would want to do, again, I probably wouldn't do red. I mean, just look at the difference between down here and which one of those stands out more. But even if, for example, if you made this font white, you would still want to throw like a black outline around it. So when that white font crossed into some lighter tones like here, it wouldn't get drowned out by the background. So you want to get, you know, get your font to make sure that it's going to be clear and visible. And also this font right here is way too wide. So if you go and you view this on your mobile phone right now, you're going to cut off probably like the SC and Scott and then like everything after the N. So it'll be like Cots, Thoughts, N will be what people see on mobile. So you definitely want to make that or get that position so it works well on mobile as well. We do have we got uploads and recent activities on here. Good to see you're in the live stream. And as you continue to make content, let's see what we got here. Apparently I didn't actually click. Let's see. Video. So yeah, we got some decent videos out here. And we go to playlist. So you have a ton of videos out there on a bunch of different topics. So you definitely want to get those to be displayed here on your channel page. And again, if you go in to customize your channel page and you go down here, there'll be a little button that says Add Section. You click on Add Section, and then you add a single horizontal playlist, and you select one of your playlists, and you basically list as many different playlists on your homepage as will fit, so people can see all that content at first glance, and maybe see something they're interested in. So that would be my recommendation to you. And also one other thing that I took a peek after I switched, lead your description with the focus of the channel. You're starting it with a bunch of links. I would put the links after the description, because when your channel gets previewed on other social media and shared elsewhere, it's those first 200 characters or so that are actually going to be displayed as kind of a preview of your description. So you want to make sure that that space is used to describe what your channel's about, and not for social media links that you have. You have email and Twitter and Patreon and all that stuff in there. So, all right. And the next channel up is Kara J, Beauty and Lifestyle, videos every week. I do want to check. Let me just double check one thing, because I like your channel art. You have a nice clear picture there that identifies you and your name and what you're all about. I'm just curious. It looks like it might be a little close. All right, let me just double check here. So here's a situation where it actually, the one thing that I'll show you, I don't know if I'll be able to show you this so you can see it, but this is another consideration on mobile. So let's see if I can actually make this. No, that's just going to be too bright, isn't it? Here, I wonder if I can if I can actually make it less bright on the phone screen, whether that'll work. Last ditch effort here. Will that display, or is that till? Okay, so that's a little bit better. So, oh, it was so good there for a minute. It's hard to see the bottom font, but you have basically what I'm trying to show you, that this refuses to focus in on. The icon on mobile. So as you can see, the icon on mobile actually overlaps the channel art. And for yours, that icon is actually overlapping the B in Beauty and Lifestyle. So you probably want to go in there and tweak it a little bit so it's not obscured. I mean, it's pretty minor, but it's covering the B. So if you if you adjusted your font slightly to move that over and then upload it and check it on mobile just to make sure that it looks good, that will you know, clear that up so people who are checking you out on mobile don't have that experience of seeing part of your channel art obscured. So, all right, so obviously a beauty and lifestyle channel, and I'm assuming your name is Kara J, and obviously you are a major focus of all your videos. So I see you in the channel art, which is good. I see you in the icon as well, and then in your thumbnails. So let's take a look at your thumbnails. Come on. All right, so we have nice, clear thumbnails. Let's see. For the most part, they all have your like a good front-on view of your face, so that's good. I just want to see if there's anywhere it is. And basically what I'm looking, you just want to make sure that like on this thumbnail where it's a little bit smaller, you just want to make sure that people can always tell it's you in your thumbnails, which it seems like you've done a fairly decent job so people can identify you as the brand, and then you don't really need to worry about other branding elements on your thumbnail, which it seems like you have done that for the most part. So like on just an example of when we're doing, oh, well, that actually looks like it might be on purpose. So at first I thought this was font that got lost in the background, but it looks like you've put kind of like a starburst to identify the glitter. So I get it. Fall collab from summer to... I almost think on some of these thumbnails, you might even be better off without words. I mean, where you're showing, when you're doing, you have a good title that explains what it's about. Like you're doing skincare, and I assume this is kind of like a before or during and after kind of thing. Oh, from summer to fall. Okay, so this is like changing of seasons. All right. But you might even get away with some of these of not having any words at all and just letting the image kind of speak. Like, you know, this, you're doing your purple glitter tutorial. The way you've done it here where you do the close-up on the eyes and stuff, you probably could get by without actually having any words on that thumbnail. And again, words on a thumbnail aren't a necessity. You really only need to use them when you're not able to tell the story that you want to tell with the pictures themselves. So if you can kind of illustrate through the various images that you shared what the video is about, it can be powerful to have those thumbnails without any words at all. And generally speaking, less is more when it comes to words on thumbnails. Like for me, I do talking head videos, so there's only so many different ways I can go to illustrate what a video is about. So I kind of have to use select words to get my message across. But if you're making videos on something that's highly visual, like makeup or other topics, then you do have the opportunity to use to create high visibility thumbnails. Food's another one. If you're making food, you do a nice close-up picture of the food. You don't really need to add any words because the photos kind of speak for themselves. And then we look at your home screen here real quick. So yeah, instead of doing this with the uploads and popular uploads, my personal preference is to actually list out individual playlists rather than this list of created playlists. So you can actually expose more content like this through all your playlists, and then you can fill out as many playlists as possible. It's going to get a lot more of your content exposed to people who visit your channel, which in turn is going to help you convert more visitors into subscribers. Double check your makeup lover, beauty, lifestyle, and more. All right, good. All right, so yeah, I would just, think about the wording that you put on your thumbnails and see whether or not you can, whether you have opportunities to do less words in certain situations, and try to rely more on the pictures to do that. And then, like I said, the tweak on your channel art to get that part of beauty out from behind your icon. All right, let's see. Needs more subs out there. Good to see you. Needs more subs. One frustrating thing is that every mobile display is not standardized. Yeah, I mean, you do run the potential that there's going to be some tweaks. I mean, that's iOS, so at least we know that everything on iOS is going to be consistent. When you run into a bunch of different Android devices and other things, you run the risk of some variations, but let's see. Scott's Thoughts channel, thank you so much. Creative Fundamentals, you rock. Awesome. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Brett's Garage, how do I add a vertical playlist? Vertical playlists aren't necessarily my favorite. I prefer the horizontal, but it's the same way. You go to the bottom of the screen and you click on the Add Section button. If you don't see that, you may have to click on the Customize Channel button first, which should be in the towards the upper right-hand side of your screen, and go that route. And then you can just pick single, playlist, and then select the playlist. Alrighty, let's see, we got, sure I didn't miss anybody. And again, guys, if you don't get your channel reviewed, the type of stuff that we talk about is very, very common. So definitely listen to some of the other channel reviews and apply those same concepts to your channel. All right. Lydia Santiago, I did the changes you suggested. Channel looks a lot better. Thank you for that. Awesome to hear. Kara J Live, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. Where is... All right. Oh, where did it? Okay. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you guys. As I mentioned, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern is when we do the live streams here. It's now 10:42. We shot past the 10:30 cutoff, but I just threw a link to the Discord where we do the live stream after party, which is basically just unwinding a little bit after the live stream in the chat over there. So if you want to come and talk for a little while before we end the evening, you can definitely stop by there. It lets me get off of camera, but I can still answer questions and things for a little while. So appreciate you coming and hanging out the stream. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. It goes a long way to help the channel. I will see you guys next week. Maybe. Not quite sure yet. We'll see. But you'll definitely be hearing from me from Vidsummit during the week, so stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and click that bell so you don't miss anything, especially with this week coming up, because I'm hoping to share some special content. Take care, guys. Good night.